What is up, guys? Today we're going to be unboxing the OnePlus 9 5G. I got asked to do this one because usually when OnePlus phones come out, the new ones come out, I usually don't, get them, even though I am a 7 Pro user as my main device. Because I'm waiting for them to go back to the full screen tech, which it shouldn't be too far off, but I wanted to give it a try and see if I would like it. So I went with this one and not the Pro model. I thought the Pro was a little bit expensive for what it was offering, but this one seemed like a pretty good deal, honestly. $729 for this spec sheet, and hopefully the cameras will be really good as well. They have the new Hasselblad, I believe, collaboration on here. You got 5G, got all the bells and whistles, which we will get into. Let's go ahead and unbox this one. I got the winter miss one as well. So I think it's kind of like a purple kind of look to it. And also, if you pre-ordered the 9, you got their OnePlus Buds Z. So we'll check those out and see how good those are as well. Those were free. The packaging looks really nice here. Yeah, so it's kind of gives you like this kind of like a purple color, honestly. Well, not even purple, really. It looks blue. Yeah, it does look blue, like a winter. I don't know why I thought it was purple. Yeah, it kind of has like a purple tint when it hits the light. It's a weird color. It's a really nice looking color, though. It's a very unique looking color. I don't think I've ever seen a color like that, especially when it hits the light like that. Never settle. This is some really good branding. I mean, not branding, but presentation here. OnePlus so far is way better than the iPhone and the Galaxy, the latest ones, with no charger in the box. So I think OnePlus is already in a really good spot this year, putting the fast charger in the box. We just get paperwork and stuff here. And then we get our power brick. So this is just like automatic recommendation. This will probably be a recommendation just solely based off that you get a power brick. The best in classic OnePlus charging cable. Absolutely love this cable. Thick, red. You got the clips on here too. High quality charging cable on here. That's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get into the phone. I'll just take you around real quick. As far as the design, it looks pretty good. I believe this is a plastic build, so that's how they were able to get the price down. Now it does not look cheap to me, but it feels like a plastic phone pretty much. It does not feel as premium, of course, as like a glass and metal phone, of course, but most people are going to put this phone in a case. We see the Hasselblad branding. I'm really excited to check out the cameras. I think we'll focus on that for the majority of this video, because I think that's the main selling point. We have our mute vibration switch, I believe, power button, volume rockers. Down below we've got your speaker, USB type C. Let's go ahead and power this guy up. Get this, if it has any juice. Okay, get this off of here. This is not a screen protector. I don't consider these little flimsy things a screen protector. Some people will be telling me not to take them off. A real screen protector should be a glass screen protector. Honestly, if you're going to get a screen protector at all, I highly recommend just getting a glass one. But yeah, so let's go ahead and boot this up. Check this phone out. I'm super excited. Alright guys, we're all booted up, and guys, I actually really love this color on this phone. I wish they went with some sort of like matte finish on here instead of like the plastic, because I've wiped this thing down 100 times, trying to film it and stuff like that. So it does pick up a ton of fingerprints and stuff. It gets super smudged, but this color is really beautiful, especially when it hits the light and stuff like that. So we're in the phone, and I'm really impressed so far with just my first impressions. So let's just go over the device here. So we have a fluid AMOLED, 120 Hz, HDR10 plus 1100 nits for brightness. So this is a very bright display when I was outdoors taking photos. 6.55 inch display, 87% screen to body ratio, 1080p, 402 for the PPI. So as far as colors and the bezels on here, You know, it's a little bit of bezel, so you know, you can. This does look like, you know, maybe a $400 mid-ranger. I guess I can compare it to those. Just the feel and I guess look, it does kind of look like that. But I think if you get it in this color, it does look like a much like more, you know, expensive device. But the feel and then the look from the front, it looks like, you know, like a little mid-ranger phone. But I really like this phone so far. Color-wise, the screen is really nice. It's 120 hertz. You can see the colors and everything are very vibrant, beautiful, deep blacks. And again, that 120 hertz, it's a buttery, silky, smooth experience. So software-wise, I think you're gonna really like Oxygen OS, especially if you've never used it. It's a very simple, you know, operating system here. It's super, super buttery, smooth. Have our Google Now page up here. Check out our toggles, our pretty basic toggles, nothing too crazy here. NFC toggle, our dark mode, we can toggle on and off as well. Reading mode, Zen mode. We have our reverse charge as well, and then we check out our screen recorder is on here. That's what I was looking for. Everything else is pretty much your standard stuff, so it's nothing too crazy on here. If you check out our settings here, if you just look at how everything's organized, that's one of my favorite things about, you know, using the 7 Pro is that Oxygen OS software is super fast. So we can go ahead and change our vibrancy on the display as well. And I have my gestures on. I usually have buttons on any phone that I use, but I'm trying to get used to the gestures, which are really not that bad, but I just prefer the old school buttons here. We check out our customizations here as well. We can change our fingerprint settings. So I really like Oxygen OS. I feel like that's the main you know, attraction with OnePlus phones is 100% the cleanness and simplicity of Oxygen OS. We can actually change and add customization packs straight from here as well. So I like Oxygen OS. I've said I feel like a repeating robot. It is definitely one of my favorite things about OnePlus smartphones is the software experience. All right, so we have the V60 right here. Let's drop it and test out the reverse charge. There it is. Takes a little second, but you can charge other devices with this guy. You can charge wireless earbuds with this, so that's a really nice little feature that they threw in there. Now the 9 has the Snapdragon 888, which is really awesome for 729, and you also have the Adreno 660. No micro SD support, unfortunately. 128 gigs of internal storage and 8 gigs of RAM on here. You also do not have a headphone jack as well. NFC is on board too. So if anybody's playing League of Legends, the Wild Rift, be sure to hit me up. My username MT85758TA. It's finally out of beta now. It's a game I was really waiting on, and this phone is going to be perfectly fine for gaming. So whatever you play, just know you're going to be able to max out graphics. You have a beautiful 120 hertz display on here, AMOLED display. So you're gonna have a pretty good gaming experience on here for sure. And gaming performance, since I've been messing with it, has been great. I have not had like an issue playing games, no stutters. Like I said, this phone is extremely smooth. So whether it be PUBG, Call of Duty, whatever, you'll have a great time playing. The only thing with the mobile games, because I'm not a huge mobile gamer, are the controls you have to get used to. But hopefully I can get used to playing on such a cramped control area. Because if you guys ever see the PUBG like pro players on mobile, like that's amazing how they do. I think that's more impressive than when they play on PC, honestly, just playing on touchscreen controls. You do have stereo speakers on this phone, so let's go ahead and check that out. They sound pretty good. They're not distorting. They're not the best that I've ever heard stereo speakers, but they have good bass presence. They thump. They sound great. And again, stereo speakers are always a great, experience to have on any smartphone versus a single volume speaker. So let's go ahead and talk about getting into the phone. So you have a few ways of getting into the phone, and that is your face unlock, which works pretty well on here if I can get it from behind the camera. And there's also a little LED notification light on this phone as well, which I love. So the 7 Pro does not have that, so it's just nice to have that when you get a notification. Okay, I can't, maybe if I do it up here. Okay, I got it up here. So you have that way, it works fine. And then you have your in-display fingerprint sensor. For some reason, it's been throwing me off because let me grab the 7 Pro. The thing about the fingerprint sensor on here is that it seems like it's farther down than I'm accustomed to for some reason. So like, let's try to get the screens matched. Yeah, it's definitely farther down for some random reason. Like it's way down here, which is weird. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the star of the show, the cameras. So my first impressions of the cameras, I was really impressed with the cameras. If you're coming from a 7 Pro or a 6T, you'll be 100% blown away by these cameras. The 8 and 8 Pro, I don't think so much from what I've seen just with the comparisons on YouTube and stuff like that. But from just a 7 Pro user's perspective, the cameras are amazing on this device. So I was really impressed. So 48 megapixel standard, 50 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel depth sensor, 8K video, 16 megapixel selfie, 1080p video. To show you guys the camera setup here, it's like the sort of Hasselblad, whatever design. I've never used their cameras ever before, so I'm not really sure about their stuff, but it doesn't really, honestly, doesn't look too much different. You get like some sound effects and stuff that sound different, but honestly, it's not a huge overhaul or anything like that. I don't see anything that's like super, impressive. We have our pro mode here, nightscape, portrait, photo, video, slow motion, panorama, and our time lapse on here as well. And then we come down, we have our settings and everything. So everything, like I said, everything is pretty much, there's no like actual software integration. Honestly, to me, it pretty much looks like your standard, 7 Pro camera setup. But let's go ahead and get into the photos because I was super impressed with the photos on this phone. So dynamic range was really great on here. Detail was super solid on this phone as well. White balance was really on point too. It was just really nice experience. The ultra wide on here is really amazing. You could barely tell the difference between the standard camera and the ultra wide. It is very impressive how much detail the ultra wide is able to keep color wise. It is just really nice. So I was super impressed with the ultra wide. It definitely might be one of the best ultra wide cameras I've ever used. Like you literally just can't tell the difference, honestly. So you have your 2x, which works fine on here. You also have pretty good color accuracy on here. I find that I get pretty natural looking colors. The camera button, when you hit it, like I was trying to get a shot and you can see I had that blurry picture of my cat. It takes pictures a little slow, but honestly it's not a big deal because it only did it once. But I guess that would be kind of not as great if you like taking pictures in the sports and you're trying to snap photos really quick. But not a big deal for me. As you can see, just beautiful detail with this camera. I was just super impressed with how color and dynamic range came out. The selfie camera on here is really great as well. Portrait mode works really well too on here. Now, the one area where you will notice the difference between the main lens and the ultra wide is when you're in a darker environment. So I went in my closet and took a picture with the Funko Pop with the standard, then punched out to the ultra wide. You can notice a significant decrease in quality. I'm not gonna say significant, but it is a much softer and grainier image here, but it wasn't like the worst, you know, low light shot I've ever seen. But you do notice a slight, you know, difference with that. But overall, low light photography on here was fine. I had no issues with it, so I was super impressed with the cameras coming from the 7 Pro. This is an excellent camera upgrade. I'll go ahead and show you guys the video. Alright guys, here is the video for the 9. Looks really, really good. Pretty good color accuracy out here as well. We'll hit the wide angle lens. And then we'll go 2x. Looks pretty good. Alright guys, here is the video on the 9, and it looks pretty solid. Right now, again, we're in just some sort of normal lighting conditions, have a few lights here. But I think it looks pretty good for anybody that wants to vlog and stuff like that. You have a pause button right here on the camera application, and you also have a picture button where you can take a photo. But I think it looks pretty good, pretty natural skin colors as well. So yeah, I think it looks fine. Alright, so let's talk about the battery situation. 4,500 milliamp battery, 65 watt fast charging. So they automatically get an A+ in this area because they gave you a charger in the box, unlike Apple and Samsung and all of these other manufacturers trying to rip people off. They actually give you the 65 watt charger, which you deserve with a flagship phone. You should not have to buy that separately. So I want you guys to always remember that. You are getting ripped off every time when they don't give you the charger. So fast charging on here, 15 watts. Like I said, reverse wireless charging is on here. This is definitely an all-day phone. You should get around 6 hours of screen on time. Again, this will have to, you know, I'll have to test it out more, but I'm pretty confident that you can squeeze 6 hours and, you know, pretty much all day out of this phone. So what do you guys think of the OnePlus 9? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.